Hi, my name is Miss Kate, and this is Gardening with Miss Kate, and this is how we are going to take off the pups. So the blog post went into it. Tuck is a moon cactus with a bald spot because of a surgery I messed up on. Long story short, he has a bald spot and he has numerous pups. He has these pups on top of him right now that we're going to take off today, but from an earlier litter of pups, he has these cacti. Isn't that cool? I'm going to have to repot them to avoid some root bound, to avoid them from being root bound. And what are pups? Pups are the product of parent plants. There are different ways a plant can have children. There's propagation, where you just take a healthy stem system or healthy nodes from the parent plant and you propagate it by putting it into water after a week or so, letting the roots grow from the healthy nodes, and then repotting them into a new pot. And that's a way you can have a child from a parent plant. There's also with pollination, but that's more flowers producing fruit. But this is also cacti and succulents produce pups, and they just grow off of the parent plant, just like this. And what they're doing to the parent plant, they're just getting the energy from the parent plant. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the pups on top of Tuck right now, and we're going to repot them today. And I've never had a problem with pups really restraining the parent plant energy wise. I've never had problem with that, but just to make sure Tuck stays healthy and the pups stay healthy, we're just gonna repot them. So we have Tuck right here, we got the little pups right here, older pups on standby just to make sure the surgery goes okay. And then we have our pot for the pups. So I just have this terracotta pot right here. I painted it myself. Don't mean to flex on you guys, but I painted it myself. Just make sure with any cacti or cactus, it has a drainage hole. And you're gonna need a terracotta pot or different other, it doesn't have to be terracotta, but a plate underneath to capture all the moisture, or else it's just gonna be a mess. So we have our pot right here. And what soil I'm going to use today is a well-draining soil. And this is for cacti, succulents, palm, and citrus plants. So this is great. This is well-draining soil. And any cactus mix that I've gotten, it doesn't have to be this brand, but anything that says like cactus mix or succulent mix, I use for my plants that are drought-based. And what I mean by drought-based, like they can withstand they originate in deserts, they originate in areas where there's a lot of drought. So this soil is great for those types of plants that can withstand a long time without water. So we're just gonna refill. And I just use a quick tip. Sometimes I don't use gloves, so excuse me. But if you're comfortable with using gloves while you put soil in the pot, you can. I use older cups from past plants I've gotten to help me get the soil out of the bag. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fill the soil up. Another thing you can do with cacti and succulents when you repot them, and I've done this a few times, if you don't have soil that's like the cactus mix or succulent mix, put rocks or sand, put rocks at the bottom of the pot and then put in the soil. The rocks at the bottom are gonna help drain the extra moisture from the soil. So that's another way you can do that. I've heard also sand. I've never used sand before, but I believe that's another good substitute. So we have our soil all set. Now I am just going to get my gloves on. This is for safety. I always wear gloves when I'm taking off the pups because the cacti have needles, or little pins on them, and they're just uncomfortable when they get under your skin. So I'm just getting everything set up, and now I'm gonna focus on these. This one I got off earlier. This is a pup. right here, and he's gonna go right here. And how I am repotting it, see how it's like a little, you can see a little bit of a root where it's lighter. I'm gonna put that side to the soil. And one problem with wearing gloves as you pot these pups is they stick to your gloves. So just take your time. You can use tweezers, you can use gloves. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna slowly twist. Slowly twist. You don't have to twist all the way, but it's a rocking motion as well. There we go. Until it pops off on its own. So there's another pop. And we're just gonna do the same thing. This one, look at this round one. So I'm gonna put him in. And these pups should be fine for a few months. And here's the last one. And already Tuck has a few other pups coming in. He is just always having kids. And here we go. There's Tuck without his pups right here. So Tuck. And now we have Pups right here. And I water them, cacti, I water them every week or every 2 weeks. I do a test with my soil. So the test I do is the topsoil dry? If it is, I put like a ruler or a pen in the soil and pull it out. If there's like still wet soil that sticks to the pen or ruler, I don't water it. It's like as if you have a cake. How do you tell if it's done? You take a toothpick, pull it out. If there's soil sticking to it, then the cake, if there's soil sticking to it, the cake's not done. That's the same with the soil. I do that just to make sure I'm not overwatering, because if I do overwater, especially with pups, it's just gonna make them root rot and they're not going to be able to have a good foundation. So here are, let me pull up this. Here are the pups. Right here. So that was gardening with Miss Kate. What we did today, we took off the pups of a parent plant and we had fun while we did it. So take your time with gardening. It's not a race. Like what I said with pups, I was taking my time. You don't want to hurt any of your plants. And practice, practice, practice. There have been times I've overwatered my cacti. I still have done it. There's sometimes you just slip up. Gardening is always a lesson we learn every day, and it's always fun to learn something new, right? So have a good one, everyone. This was Miss Kate with Gardening with Miss Kate, and have a good one.